Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, yes, camping again. Yes, it's another absolutely gorgeous day. We went from like 30 degrees the other day down to -1 this morning. It's supposed to be around 18 degrees Celsius by the end of the day, so hopefully it's okay. And we've got rain in the forecast for the next few days. And I'll still be doing videos even if it's raining. Anyways, first up on the docket here, we're talking about SNES, emulation and preservation and gaming kind of all bundled in one with the SN Operator. Now, we've talked about the SN Operator in previous videos. The first batch of this will start shipping July 31st, and orders are now up on their website. The price of one of these things is $59.99, so 60 bucks, which I think is completely reasonable. Taking a look as well, it supports the SNES, the Super Famicom enhancement chips like the Super FX, SA1, DSP, CX4, and more. Region-free playback. It supports Windows, Mac, Linux, the Steam Deck, no surprise there, the ROG Ally, no surprise there, and the Raspberry Pi. And on top of that, this has a fake cartridge detection mechanism in it. So it'll help you determine whether or not a cartridge is real or fake. For example, if you were buying one for a very high price, and well, this will help you determine whether or not it's the real deal or not if you didn't know how to do that on your own. So the SN Operator is basically a portable cartridge slot that is plug and play. You can back up your games, you can back up your saves, you can do a whole lot with it. I like seeing stuff like this. Let me know your thoughts about the SN Operator in the comments below. And speaking about stuff compatible with Linux, not a great segue, but next up here we're talking about Proton Experimental. If you game on Linux, you're probably very familiar with Proton and Proton Experimental, and if you're not, you might want to get familiar with it. Anyways, here, Proton Experimental just got a brand new update. More games are compatible, and they've got fixes for some pretty popular games right now. So under Now Playable, they've got Plain Sight, Konkin Coast Pirate Solutions, and Otherworld Legends. Under Fixes, they have fixes for Forza Horizon 4 and 5. And also fixed Forza Horizon 6 showing black screen on desktops in SteamOS beta. And speaking about experimental stuff, next up we're talking about Castlevania on the Sega Genesis, specifically Castlevania Rondo of Blood. So there is a work-in-progress version of this game being made for the Sega Genesis. It's a fan remake. And taking a look here, it seems they've got CD-DA audio playback working. And so far, I mean, if you take a look at the footage of this, and if you are interested in seeing more about it, like everything we talk about, links are within that GitHub link in the bottom of the description below. I don't hide my sources. There is a video on YouTube, and holy smokes, this game looks like it belongs on the Sega Mega Drive Genesis. And speaking about works in progress, next up here, we're talking about Crazy Taxi. And if you're a fan of Crazy Taxi and a fan of the upcoming new Crazy Taxi that Sega is working on, you're going to be a big fan of this news. It's worth noting I don't have a whole lot to go on just yet, just a teaser short video of a taxi icon kind of flickering. So it looks like things are currently underway for Sega, and it looks like things are going to be revealed pretty soon regarding Crazy Taxi. This may be one to put on your radar. And speaking about putting stuff on your radar, next up here we're talking about 007 First Light. And if you're not a fan of Denuvo, you're not going to be a big fan of this news. If you're a big fan of Denuvo, you might be really excited about this news. So anyways, here it's being reported that IO Interactive has added Denuvo to 007 First Light just a week before release. Now, I don't know about you here, so I am curious to hear your thoughts on the matter, but I don't know if this will affect your decision to purchase the game. For me personally, this bumps the game down the list of things that I'm currently interested in. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. And speaking about games that haven't released yet, but switching to games that probably won't release, at least not officially. Next up here, we're talking about Sega Rally for the DS. And this is a really interesting article up on Time Extension I would recommend checking out. And again, you know where the links are. Anyways, here, a game preservation group has published footage of a Sega Rally prototype. So this is from Protopia, and taking a look here, I mean, the game looks like it would have been really good on the Nintendo DS. My guess here is that this prototype will be hosted on a preservation site at some point in time. Is it Protopia or Protopia? I don't know. Let me know your pronunciation of it. Anyways, here it also appears there's a second game called Juiced. And I don't know, I think really they should have released these games because I think they would have been pretty good. And continuing to talk about games that haven't released, next up we're talking about Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, we talked about GTA 6 yesterday in regards to that release date rumor that it may be pushed yet again. There was a rumor out there that was gaining quite a bit of steam saying that GTA 6 was going to be released in February as opposed to November. And then the PC version was going to be released in May as opposed to potentially February. Anyways, it appears that rumor was completely false. We were doubting it in yesterday's video, but it looks like Take-Two has confirmed yet again, or reiterated yet again, that the game will release in November as now scheduled. And speaking about stuff now scheduled, next up we're talking about something a lot of people, maybe not necessarily a lot of people anymore, maybe a smaller number of people might not be happy with, and that is the scheduled end of Destiny 2. Bungie has confirmed that the game will no longer receive updates as of June 9th of this year. So Bungie says, as our focus turns towards a new beginning for Bungie, we will begin work incubating our next games. On a side note, I don't think that's Destiny 3. To that end, on June 9th, 2026, we will release the final live service content update for Destiny 2. Though active development may be concluding, we will ensure that Destiny 2 remains playable, just as the original Destiny is today. So fortunately here, the silver lining is that the game isn't going offline, and it doesn't seem that they plan on bringing the game offline anytime soon, and I hope that stays true. I mean, Destiny is still playable, and that's a good thing, and hopefully Destiny 2 remains playable for a very long period of time. But if you're a Destiny 2 fan, you're probably not happy with this news, although the game already has, it has a ton of content already. But anyways, yeah, let me know your thoughts on this one. And also, let me know your thoughts on these trees. I mean, this one here is beautiful. And there's another one over here. I don't know if you can see it too well on the camera, but a lot of bugs around now too. The flowering on the trees is just really nice this time of year, and well, there's some really pretty trees out there. And speaking about pretty things, see what I did there? Next up, we're talking about a brand new game that you may be interested in. I think this game looks gorgeous. It is called Necro Pop. It's just been announced. It will be headed to the Neo Geo as well as modern platforms like PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and also PC via Steam. And holy smokes, this thing looks really good. If you're a fan of Shantae and that kind of aesthetic, you might be a big fan of Necro Pop. Now, unfortunately, I don't know the release date or price just yet, but I do know the price on the AES and MVS, and not surprisingly, it's not cheap at all. So the limited edition, the physical version on the AES, it includes a bunch of stuff here, but it's also priced at 429 euros. Taking a look at just the normal AES version, that's 349 euro. And the MVS limited edition is 429 euro. If you're an AES or MVS fan, you can completely understand those prices, disagree with them, and still pay them because that's what pretty much everything is priced at. But on PC and the consoles, I'm guessing it's going to be significantly cheaper. And speaking about significantly cheaper, next up we're talking about some free games. And these are some you may want to pay attention to. So first and foremost on Steam here, Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 is 100% free. This game has a very positive overall review score. Secondly, on the Epic Game Store, Tomb Raider 1-3 Remastered is currently 100% free. And lastly, on Android and iOS 2, I believe, Monument Valley 3 is 100% free. Next up here, we're going from cheap to not as cheap. Not a great segue either. I'll just say next up, we're shifting from software to hardware. There we go. I'll take the easy way out. We're talking about Anbernic. And Anbernic has just unveiled a refreshed version of the RG557. So the RG557 initially shipped with 12 gigs of DDR5 RAM as well as 256 gigs of storage. And this new version, it contains everything else being the same, but it's got lower RAM here, 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. And the price on this is a little bit cheaper as well. So taking a look on Anbernic's website right now on the 12 gig of RAM and 256 gig storage variant, the original version of this, which also features the Dimensity 8300, it's priced right now at $279. This new refreshed version is priced with no SD card at $229.02. So you do save a few bucks on this one. I am curious to hear your thoughts on this one. I mean, the savings is 50 bucks overall, but for 50 bucks, I'd be tempted just to get an extra 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. You're basically doubling the storage just for 50 bucks. So I don't necessarily know if this lower end version of the 557 will be a huge seller. I could be wrong though. And speaking about new versions of stuff, next up we're talking about 8bitdo. And 8bitdo has just unveiled the 8bitdo Ultimate 3 wireless controller, specifically for Xbox, and well, it also works with PC, Android, and Apple. And this one has a force ring on it to adjust the tension of the joysticks. So 8bitdo says here, dial in your controller with the force ring, adjust your stick tension with satisfying mechanical clicks made to match your playstyle. Tight for precision, loose for speed, perfect across FPS racing and action titles. And the controller is priced at an eye-watering $100. So let me know your thoughts on this one. I mean, the controller itself looks cool. The force ring I think is super cool. But $100, it does include TMR joysticks. It looks like a premium entry from 8bitdo, but at the same time here, I mean, at that price point, I may be inclined to get the Steam controller instead, provided they're available. And speaking about the Steam controller, next up we're talking about the Steam controller here and the puck on the Steam controller, the charging puck, or the connectivity puck via wired. Anyways here, this is really interesting. So just a PSA, be aware of letting anything metallic touch your Steam controller's puck. As reported by Toyka, their smartwatch's metallic strap accidentally touched puck's exposed contacts and started sizzling due to a short circuit. So my advice here is if you're not using the Steam controller puck, just unplug it and avoid any sort of issue, or just keep everything away from it except the Steam controller. Next up here, we're switching back to gaming handhelds and talking about Ayaneo. We talked about Ayaneo yesterday when they were having their developer update. And we talked about them before when I was camping, like last week, I think, when the Pocket Block leaked. Well, during the developer update, Ayaneo has officially announced the Pocket Block and also revealed the Pocket Air Mini IGS. This information is up on retrohandhelds.gg and I recommend checking it out. So Ayaneo's new Pocket Air Mini IGS is officially licensed by IGS. It's the same specs as the normal Pocket Air Mini. This one includes a brand new colorway here and some games out of the box. It includes stuff from Knights of Valor, Oriental Legends, Dragon World, Demon Front, and The Killing Blade. Now for the Ayaneo Pocket Block, unfortunately I don't know the price or release date just yet, and I think that's going to be, well, the price probably will be a huge factor in the overall success of this thing. And maybe the customer service, but that's a can of worms. Anyways here, it does seem that the size of this is, well, it's going to be competing against the TrimUI Brick and MIUI Mini Plus. It seems pretty darn small and smaller than the images made it seem. There are 2 different colorways at the time of launch here, whenever it launches, in purple and like a standard Game Boy one. It will be running Android. Really curious to see the chipset in this one, its capabilities, and most importantly, the price. And last up here, we're switching back to emulators and talking about Wii and Gamecube emulation with Gecko. We talked about Gecko last weekend, and I believe I was on a hike when we talked about Gecko. I'm out hiking a lot. Anyways here, we'll discuss that later. That's not important. It is important. It's very important to me. Anyways, next up here, we're talking about Gecko. And the developer behind Gecko seems to be making some pretty good progress on it. They say here, been fixing more things, and now among other games, Mario Kart loads up and even goes in-game. For those unaware, Gecko is still pretty new to the scene. It is coded in Rust, and well, more is more, as I said in that previous video when it comes to emulators. Less is definitely not more. I think more is a lot better for the scene overall. Anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Didn't see any fluffs today, heard a few birds. But we talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.